This is the Preserve Championship designed by LaVisca Disc Golf. That's Kale LaVisca, your course designer. This is middle of the season of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and it is hot. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb, and we're your two hot geese.
Honk.
Extra hot.
Extra hot. Double the hot. We're out here at the Preserve. It's all the touring players' favorite place on tour because we get to go swimming. Look at all that water. Today we're going to watch Paige Pierce, Ohn Scoggins, Eveliina Salonen, and Lykke Lorentzen attack this beast of a course.
Yeah, it's a long one. Paige got second last year. Ohn coming off the match play championship last weekend. This is going to be a great card to watch.
Yeah, we are at the Black Bear course, one of 3 on the property. We start with this par 4. There's out of bounds on the left-hand side in the tall grass, obviously the water as well. Your second shot, you want to throw over that out of bounds lake and onto this very shaded green.
Welcome up the 10-20 card. First on the tee from Pensacola, Florida, Paige Pierce. Yeah! Thank you.
I really like this starting hole. Reachable by everyone in the field. That tall grass on the right is not out of bounds. And yep, center cut is good. And you pitch over the water and get a look at a birdie.
From Los Angeles, California, please welcome Ohn Scoggins. Yeah!
Woo! I'll always be an Ohn fan.
The tall grass is not necessarily always out of bounds. It's different on every hole. We'll try to keep you guys up to date. This one, you just want to throw as hard as you can and make sure you don't hyzer. Pushing that left-hand side does make your second shot shorter.
Hey, you make me look weak.
Next on the tee out of Finland, please give a warm welcome for Eveliina Salonen.
Nice seeing Eveliina back in the States. Can't wait to watch her rip some big drives on this course.
She, as we all know, will be throwing a lot of destroyers today. Here's one now. Great shot.
And from Norway, give it up for Lykke Lorentzen.
Lucky is UK's American nickname. We will be referring to her as Lucky for the rest of the round.
That needs to dig. And that's going to be out of bounds. That left side tall grass is OB. She can still make the green on her second shot, potentially, though. It looks like a destroyer from Ohn. And it's well across, but just outside the circle and behind a tree.
Yeah, this green is very well guarded. There's 4 big trees all around with lots of low-hanging branches. It makes it hard to crash inside the circle.
Lucky gets 2 circles edge for a par save look. You really only have to get a little over 300 feet off the tee to have a decent look, but if you can get farther like Eveliina and Paige, it really opens up this window. That's a great shot from Eveliina. Floaty Crystal Fierce from Paige and the bullseye.
We had some of the calmest conditions we've seen on the course this week throughout all of our practice rounds.
You almost wanted a breeze, so it would be cooler.
Yeah, there was no wind. The high was supposed to be 85, but it got up into almost the mid-90s. Even though the flag is moving, you could not really feel it.
Yeah. So Ohn and Lucky both unable to convert their putt. Eveliina coming out strong with the birdie. I would say this first stretch of 4 holes before you cross back behind hole 1 and then you move to a different part of the property are some of the more scoreable holes, at least the first 3.
Yeah.
Like you want to be under par before you cross over to the, the next section. Hole 2 is a par 3. It's a double mandatory, 280 feet. You just need to pipe it down this gap. There is, I think, out of bounds on the left, but it's pretty hard to find. Just don't find an early tree. And while you're thinking about this hole, maybe think about getting some sweet 2 Hot Geese merch, gkprodisc.com. Thank you guys for all of your support.
Yeah, we love seeing you guys wearing the 2 Hot Geese shirts. It's so cool. Honk, honk, honk.
I think this one kind of baits you into wanting to turn one over, but really if you just throw it straight, it's going to end up in a good spot. Paige has a putt there from outside the circle.
Yeah, scrambling, if you hit that tree that Paige missed just barely around the right-hand side, scrambling from hitting that tree is real tough. So you just basically want to get around that tree. Even if you hug the tree like Paige and Eveliina, you still will get near the circle's edge and give yourself a putt.
Mm-hmm.
This elevated basket does complicate this hole because a lot of times you are left with that weird 28 to 35 foot putt.
Okay.
What a route!
Yeah, and that looked like one of her destroyers too. Like that was a higher speed disc. She has a putt.
This looks great.
That's beautiful. Oh, settle down.
Ooh, get some hard skips, but buzzing the bottom of the lighthouse on the basket.
Eveliina from outside the circle. Leaves it short.
I think this is probably one of the tightest wooded holes on the course. There's a handful of them that are nice, tight wooded gaps, a lot of wide open holes.
Yeah, this one I think definitely is tighter than the few others.
There is a nice mix on this course. It is a great track, but it does favor the distance here.
There we go. Good conversion for Paige to go 2 for 2. What I like about this course, though, is I don't think there's a ton of like excessive artificial out of bounds, which you often see in, you know, those kind of golf style courses.
Great birdie from Ohn. Yeah, it's nice. They keep it all natural out here.
Ooh.
Ooh. I think that was very done intently by Kayla Viska. And it is really nice to play on a course where you do not have to worry about ropes and out of bounds rules on every tee pad. Hole 3 is pretty straightforward. It's 324 feet. You want to throw a hyzer that kind of rides that tree line on the right, or maybe a straight shot or a flex line. You don't want it to flex out to the left very hard because there is an out of bounds line way over there, and then there's a big hill that your disc can skip down as well, making the putt a lot more difficult.
This looks like a passion, and that's really how you draw the line up. Wow, exactly how you draw it up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I feel like that kind of like tried to slide under the little black thing.
Oh man, I wonder if that's ever happened. Ohn throwing her classic flexing shot.
Yeah. Stays up on top of the hill, giving her a birdie putt. All right, I knew we'd have a good gallery. We always do when we come to the preserve, but man, this crowd is roaring.
Mm-hmm. This is a little low and turned from Eveliina. She'll probably have to settle for a par.
This hole is 324, but I feel like it plays a wee bit longer than that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's just
it's a
because it's
good little
early in the
pump.
round. Yeah. I feel like I'm really trying to get everything I have on this hole and still come up short, but 324 is well within reach.
I think it, you know how Ohn threw the flex? I think that's really difficult to do, and it calls for more of a straight pushing shot or straight hyzer.
Yeah. Like a flip up.
Lucky for a birdie from circle's edge. Ooh, just off the top.
Ohn from around 28 feet. Yeah.
Nice. 2 good putts from her after missing that first one. That's what we're used to seeing.
33% of the field taking a birdie on this hole.
Yeah, you definitely want to stack up the birdies early here. The course only gets harder and harder as you go.
There are 51 competitors at
Yeah.
the reserve in the FPO. That is
Awesome field.
amazing.
Hole 4 is a par 4, much more difficult to get, 675 feet. You need to throw an Anheuser shot that keeps turning to the right. And if you can get past these trees, you might have a look at this tunnel, which kind of curves right and then left. It's really hard to attack for birdie unless you land in the absolute perfect spot, which is super far. I would be stoked to see some birdies on this one, but if you're out of position off the tee, a lot of people are just going to kind of lay up to the tunnel and take a par.
Yeah, this usually plays in the top 3 most difficult holes on the course. This year it is the second most difficult hole, averaging at about almost a half a stroke over par. Everyone is throwing a lot farther this year, and that is key for lining up that second shot, like Erika said.
That's a good line from Ohn.
That's
Gets
great.
right up to those trees.
You'll see a lot of people throwing a sidearm on their second shot as well, like Erika said, just kind of pitching up. Unless you can get this big distance like we see Eveliina trying to do here. Oh, that's smashed.
Yeah, it's huge. She's past those trees. She can throw like a hyzer through the gap, maybe?
That is crazy.
Almost hit those people.
That's also a great looking shot. Just needs to hold on. But hyzering out is not bad.
Yeah, that's the mistake to make rather than, turning too hard out of the hand initially. This is actually my first time here, so I've watched coverage, and it's interesting playing it in person. Like, this hole's way harder than it looks,
Yes, definitely. The gap is so small, and you also, those 2 trees that Lucky just got tangled up in, they come into play more readily than you think because they have really low hanging branches. They're kind of in that perfect place. Eveliina doesn't have.
What? Wow. Oh, I have to know what she threw there. That was a destroyer.
Okay, it says 4% of the field got to circle 1 in regulation for their birdie, and I mean that's got to be. I think that's 2 competitors.
That's so cool. Ohn also going aggressive through the gap with the forehand, like Madison said, and skips out to the right. That'll be an easy par. This is a tougher angle. Oh, no. Actually, she's fine. She's able to go straight putter. I thought if she was a few more feet to the right, it would have been really difficult.
Okay, only 2
was
people.
beautiful.
Only 2 people in the field did this, and we just got to watch both of them.
Yeah, unreal.
Unreal.
Eveliina's was particularly impressive just because
She was so far
she
back.
wasn't really set up for it like Paige was.
Yeah.
That's a great recovery shot from Lucky.
They're making this gap look small. It is not, ladies and gentlemen. This gap is hard. Kind of pinched. She's off to the right side.
She's just laying up, it looks like. But still, you'd take a par here
You're happy.
anytime.
Yep. Only it looks like actually about 50% of the field taking a par.
What a birdie from Eveliina.
Wow.
Getting herself to 2 down.
So FPO really figuring this hole out from last year. Par feels great here. 41% of the field with a bogey or worse. Only 6% with a birdie. That's only 4 competitors.
Paige is 4 for 4, by the way.
Paige, Eveliina, and Missy with the birdies.
Oh, nice. Missy must have made a circle 2 putt then.
Hole 5, this always plays as one of the top 3 hardest holes on the course as well. You have to go through a narrow gap and then land in a narrow gap and then go through another narrow gap and land in another narrow gap. And then finally on your 3rd shot, throw down this narrow gap. I'm just kidding. It's a really tight fairway all the way to the green. You can reach this green in for the birdie 4, but you'll see a lot of players playing safer here and just chipping up a couple 200-foot shots and taking their par. There's a lot of ways you can mess up here. So this straight shot, like we see Paige throwing here, is all you want.
Yeah, and that's just a fierce, just landing placement, you know?
And she can still technically get a birdie from there, but most people are not going to do what Eveliina's doing here, which is unbelievable.
Destroyer.
A destroyer.
A destroyer.
Are you
Yep.
okay? That is not normal. That is just amazing.
Oh, that is yanked from Ohn, but actually turns out all right.
Yeah, that finish is fine.
She'll be pinched on her second shot.
Most people are lining themselves up for a forehand from where around Ohn and Paige landed.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know what to think about Evelina's shot.
I've erased it from my brain because I don't understand.
Like, is it amazing or is it just pure recklessness?
Both. That was an FX3 from Lykke.
Ohn doing your typical second shot here, throwing a forehand. You want to push straight here. The straighter you are, the closer you are to those bushes, the easier it is and more open it is to throw your third shot down that narrow fairway.
This is the backhand line, and that turns out great.
Yeah, it's a little pinch to the right-hand side. She'll maybe have to throw a turnover, but she might be far enough out that she has a straight shot.
Paige just chipping away at this hole with her fierce.
Turn more.
It's trying.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, that will be fine.
She'll have a step out sidearm from probably around 200 and maybe 225.
Yeah, I think that where the trees of the final gap are about 200 feet.
Evelina opting for the tomahawk.
She threw too far. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Also, the fact that tomahawk got through is amazing because the high level branches are very thick.
Man, I really wanted to birdie this one. Ohn trying to work that flex. It was turning, but she hits an early tree.
I'm honestly surprised she didn't opt for the sidearm here. But I guess she does have that strong flex with overstable. Yeah.
Almost everything she throws tends to be on a flex, so a tight tunnel like this, is pretty difficult.
And that's a very easy to mistake that we saw Ohn and Lykke make. That's a very easy mistake to make. It's really hard to enter into this gap with the turnover and not get tangled up on that left side.
Eveliina hits an early tree as well, but at least she rolls to the center. Paige with that step out sidearm. I believe with a passion. That looks like great touch.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was surprised not to see her go sidearm on the second shot, but, that works too. Eveliina throwing a nice straight putter approach.
Only 5 people getting to circle 1 in regulation for the birdie. Got to see one of them with Paige.
Ohn with a great little 200-foot putter shot for her par.
This fairway is so tough. It's just such a dead straight line.
It's
you're
intimidating for sure.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I can just throw my putter straight. And man, sometimes it's just so hard to do.
Oh, wow. What a par save. Great putt.
That was great. And par does feel, in fact, great on this hole, even though the birdie's in play.
Wow, super clean putt.
So
from
smooth.
Lykke. Mm-hmm. Big smile.
I'm so curious on what the stats were last year because we have 14% of the field getting a birdie this year. That's 7 people. Paige is one of them. 50% of the field getting a par, and I feel like that's so much better than in years past.
I swear the field has just...
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, gotten so much better as a whole. There's a lot more depth.
I'll try to come back at y'all with some stats for this hole from last year compared to this year, but I think it's a big improvement.
Hole 6 is a 330-foot par 3. I don't believe there's any out of bounds. You're just throwing. It's not the tightest of gaps, but it is a gap. Just throw a straight shot, get a putt. Don't be on either side.
It's slightly uphill, so it does play
That's true.
a little bit longer than 330, and the gap is
It's
about 60% down the fairway. So right
That's-
at the pivotal moment.
right there. That's where a lot of people get tangled up, right where Paige did, right or left side.
And I mean, obviously a par is still super gettable from there, but you are wanting this birdie. This
Absolutely.
is one that you step up to and you're like, there's nothing I have to worry about. Just throw it at the basket.
Just throw it straight. Eveliina with a really good shot to get herself inside the circle.
This hole averaged at 2.8, just under par. Lots of birdies to be had.
Ohn's fades out a little bit early, but she's on the edge and maybe even almost a circle too. This is another FX3 from Lykke.
Ooh, I love the flex line here.
She mentioned to me that she threw this for the very first time 2 days ago, and she threw it so many times today.
Became the go-to.
Yeah, it's
Funny
pretty
how
awesome.
that will happen. You lose your favorite disc, you pull out another one, and you're like, this will work, and then it's like, oh,
That's the best thing ever.
oh.
Paige with a really long look. She'll have to take the first par of her round.
Eveliina, unfortunately, not converting the birdie here.
Yeah, these kind of little tester putts are often where we see her struggle, but she makes a comebacker of the same distance. Great birdie from Lykke. Gets her back to even.
I mean, what a comfortable position to be in through 6 holes, 5 down. I mean, nice start.
Not bad, huh? I mean, I wouldn't. If you would have asked me, like, what's going to be the hot score today, I'd say, you know, like, maybe someone's going to get, like, a 6 or a 7.
I was gonna
So to
say
already
7.
be at 5 is like, wow, okay. People are so good.
Okay,
like
maybe
Juliana
it's double
Korver,
digits.
at 5. Ella Hansen at 4. Haley and Missy at 3 down. A bunch of people at 2. So many people under par.
Yep, and like Erika said, lots of birdies in those first 4 holes. And lots more to come. There are a lot. The course starts to really stretch out here, as you can see on hole 7. It's 960 feet. It's a whopper of a par 5. You want to throw one right in the middle. The second one, you want to get around this curve. Third one, you want to try not to land in the tall grass on the left or behind this patch of trees in the middle or in the tree line on the right. But there is no out of bounds besides the water. Your final shot, you land on this very steeply sloped green. There is a mosquito breeding ground over that tube that you do not want to mess with.
Wow. Can you guess what this is?
FX3. Mm-hmm. It's so funny.
I know. Our whole list is all over it. This is the first hole that we're going to see. Well, I guess hole 1, but this hole is a huge advantage if you can get some massive distance. If you can only throw, 325 or 350, it's so hard to birdie this one.
Yep.
Great shot from Paige.
Yeah, there's not a lot to worry about here, too, so it allows the distance throwers to really open up and not have to worry about any sort of outcome. And we get to see just that.
Yeah, huge rip from Eveliina and Paige.
This played as the 5th most difficult hole on the course, and I think it is just what Erika said, because it's so difficult to birdie if you don't have that huge distance.
Fading to the left. She's safe, but probably going to have some tall grass in her run-up.
The spotter was so impressive, just out here all day, no umbrella.
Oh my God. I was the first card out, and I was like, are you going to be okay?
Yeah, just hanging out in the sun.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, guys, it was 90 degrees, and this
Full
fairway,
humidity.
yeah, this fairway was brutally hot.
Ohn kind of cuts that corner and gets over the water and over the tall grass, and she's set up fine for her par. Okay, also on this edge, she kind of forces one over and lands in a great spot. I'm curious to see if Paige is going to go more towards the right side, or I assume she's going towards the left side because it's way more open over there. Like, even if you land in the tall grass, it's less of a tunnel shot than the right side gap.
Yeah. And that tall grass was not here in years prior. This was all mowed. I really like this addition because it just adds something in your head that you have to think about. It is a little tough to throw out of some of those little stickery areas. There's lots of nettle. I just like the added obstacle in the fairway.
Yeah, it's not like super punishing, but it makes you think for sure.
Yep.
Eveliina following Paige to that left side, it leaves a much more straight approach. Whereas a lot of people that land about this spot where Ohn is tend to go that smaller right side because it's a little bit shorter. Oh, she's going left side as well.
And it's also shady.
Yeah, you saw Paige put that towel on her face. Like, this is such a brutal hole
There's
to walk.
nowhere
Just
there's nowhere to hide.
die slowly.
Just sizzle.
Here we go. Here it is. Right side play.
Hopefully she did not get tangled up too much in those bushes. They can be really mean.
Whoa, Eveliina's forehand pushes too far straight. There's actually some standing water over there.
Yeah.
She's not in it, I don't think, but
The home of mosquitoes.
yeah,
There's so many in there. It's unbelievable.
I wonder where you landed.
I
Wow.
didn't-
Paige so far she can throw a fierce on her last shot. That's unbelievable. Wow.
That's great. Again, only 6% of the field, which is 2 competitors getting to circle 1 in regulation for the birdie.
Whew. Ohn with a destroyer putting the heat on it. It's still spinning. Oh, man.
But at least it's shady. I'm just kidding. This looks brutal.
I think she did a good job of not hitting her hand and did a
Wow.
great job of parking it.
Wow, what a scramble from there.
Yeah, that was amazing. Low-key amazing. Oh, this
it really
is terrible.
was.
She's getting torn up in there, too. Eaten alive.
Giving it a soft bid.
She liked it. Ohn with some funny footing.
Yeah, and a little bit downhill. This basket's kind of low as well, but no problem for Ohn.
That's a great par with that early left drive.
Yeah, it's weird that one.
It is weird.
Paige with a tap-in birdie. She's 6 down through 7.
One of only 3 on the day. The other were Ella Hansen and Haley King, 2 of the bigger arms in the FPO field.
It's so funny being up there and putting so steeply down.
Yeah.
Hole 8 is an over-the-water par 3, 297 feet. You do have to clear the water. If you don't, there is a drop zone on the sidewalk on the right. This one, the trees on the right kind of, I don't know, something about this hole, like if you accidentally throw a too high of a hyzer, it fades towards the water. This is a great shot, like a nice high turnover.
Yeah, the place, I think, to kind of just crush something into the trees above the basket and hope the trees do some work for you. But it makes you feel like you should throw a hyzer, but that's just not the shot.
It's not, but something about it, you'd think, like even this, it's gonna be fine because she's through far enough, but like it's fading more towards the water than you want.
But also sometimes you're like, I'm not going to throw a hyzer. I'm going to flex this. And then you just throw a hyzer anyways.
What is that? I'm glad you agree with me.
Yes. There's a vortex. A hyzer vortex.
That was a Mako 3 from Eveliina. I think that's the first mid-range she's thrown this round.
Even though it's 297, it does play a little bit longer than that.
Just a little.
Just a
Ohn with
little.
quite a flex. I think she got some decent ground play and we'll have a good putt.
Lucky from circle 2.
Oh, wow.
Bumping cage.
Great speed on that one.
It's a low ceiling too. She had that nice and linear and some good force.
Ohn messing around with these trees. What a great putt. All right. Feature card ladies heating up on the putting green.
3 birdies. I mean, 2 birdies. Well, there will be 3.
I don't know.
I don't know.
She's only 6 down through. Yep, 7 down through 8.
35% of the FPO field birdieing hole 8.
God, Paige is just cruising too. Like, it looks effortless.
Hole 9 is the 1,000-foot hole. Another par 5. That's 2 out of the last 3. You're going to throw a shot out into the middle somewhere. Your second shot, you want to land right of this tree. Do not get pinned behind in the shady patch, even though it will be nice and cool over there. Your third shot goes over the top of this out-of-bounds creek. And then hopefully you're close enough to have a birdie putt. But that's for the big arms.
I think us regular folks can get this one a little bit easier than the last one.
Yep.
There's less obstacles. You know, there's this one tree that makes you decide right or left. Paige goes big Anheuser left.
Huge Anheuser.
And then as long as you get across that last little creek, you're going to have some kind of look, even if it's a long one.
That was massive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to know the distance on that one. Let's see if Eveliina can match her.
A little lower.
Still a great shot.
Still unbelievable.
Paige's was just extra unbelievable. And this is why Ohn is my hero, because she throws like a normal person and is still 3 down, just like Eveliina.
Yep. The right side of the tree is the chosen route for a lot of the FPO field, just throwing a hyzer out into the field. Like, he's really good at her Anheuser shot, so maybe we'll see. Nope, she opts for the hyzer as well.
I would say that one's probably, yeah, the more common play, just slightly. That was a D3. Well, I'm getting some nice air under this one and flexing it. That's a solid shot. Decision time from there, though. She can definitely make it across the creek, but it's a little nervy.
It's a great looking shot, keeping it away from that tree, leaving it in the wide open. Gosh.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, it's just so low the whole time and so powerful.
Laser beam. Man, she's way up there, too.
Paige opting for a hyzer. Is she going over the creek?
I can't tell. I don't think so.
Okay. Just putting it way down the right-hand side and just super opening up that third shot.
Kind of has a straight little look at it. See, I bet Ohn's going across. Yep.
Right over that corner bush.
And usually if you get across, you can get pretty close to circle 2. Or at least 100 feet and maybe give it a cool little run. This is a nice spot. You can see the basket. That's that same D3. She's thrown it 3 times.
It's over, no problem. She'll have a long look.
Eveliina with,
Like 300 feet?
yeah, 300 max for sure. It's just a rock X3.
Wow.
Parked.
Dialed.
It's going to put her to 4 down on the front 9, which would be great if Paige weren't going to be like double that. it's still great. Just looks like a little rhino approach from Ohn for her par.
Just a little jump putt for Lykke's par.
All right, wrapping up the back nine here.
Yeah, 18% of the field getting a birdie on this hole and 67 with a par. This basket last year was about 200 feet further on another little anthill. I really like this change, especially for the FPO division.
Yeah, everyone I've talked to loves this change. I think it's a really good hole.
Look at how our feature card did, and look at all that green.
I know.
Holy cow.
Only missing one. Paige Pierce 8 down. Eveliina a really clean 4. Ohn bogey free 3. And Lykke even par, which isn't bad.
No, it's not what you necessarily want out here, but you are not going to be upset with that. Lots of room on the back nine as well. Let's see how everyone else is doing. And
Good. Everyone's doing good.
Yeah, everyone's under par. I mean, just attacking in that front nine is absolutely necessary to be in the leaderboard here. Yeah, everyone, it's kind of a tight battle. And Paige does have a couple strokes on the field. Katrina with the 5 down right behind her. We'll see a lot more birdies on the back as well. Thanks again to our FPO VIP members, our Flying V Club. You guys rule. We appreciate you so much, and you help keep our wheels turning and our wings flapping.
Honk.
I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
See y'all on the back, honk.